Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Somos Mas, the official podcast of Somos Mas NM and your source for the latest news and notes on New Mexico United. My name, of course, is Seth Bidoff, and joining me tonight, we have Jacob Terrell. Earl Nieto was there. I don't know where he went. There he is. Earl is back. We've got a full house tonight.
Sorry, I had to get water.
All right. Well, there you go. I do want to give another big thank you to Harry Austin, who joined me on the show last week. If you watched it, appreciate you being here. That episode finally did get edited. It will be up on podcast services tonight, and then this one will go up tomorrow morning ahead of the match against Sacramento. Welcome back, Jacob and Earl. Glad you guys are back with us. Hope you guys were able to take care of your family situations that came up last week. And no, Earl's shaking his head no. So before we do have two matches to talk about this week, obviously, so we're going to get into that here in just a minute. But before we do, I do want to say it is National Mental Health Awareness Month. The club is putting out things about it. We've talked about mental health awareness in the past, and I do want to ask you guys one burning question this week. How is your mental health?
That's deep. Fucking Earl.
Wow.
Yes, a serious question, and Earl's over here digging around again.
I was not expecting that one. But no, I mean, seriously, I mean, it is an important topic, and I wanted to ask you guys this because, without going, I won't go too much into detail. Last week we did mention that Earl had a death in the family. Jacob, your family was dealing with an illness over the past year, and really the past few years. We've all had a number of things go on. Harry over in the chat, appreciate you being here. We were just saying thank you to you for joining us last week. Over the last couple of years, like a lot's gone on, and Earl and your family has been dealing with some losses this year. Jacob, you guys have had some familial issues. I've had some big life changes, and so I think it's important that we do bring this up and talk about it at least every now and then. How are you guys doing right now?
I mean, is this thing on?
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah, we're good. Okay. I'm doing as best as we possibly can. I mean, you didn't want to say it, but I will. I mean, last year my wife's dad passed away. A week ago today, my wife's grandma passed away. So, I mean, it's take it as it is. I mean, I sent you guys a text yesterday trying to make light of the entire situation. None of you assholes commented on it. So
I'm sorry, I was asleep.
So,
I was the old man last night, apparently.
Oh, wrong one. Damn it.
No, that's a lot of damage.
Just kidding. But yeah, so we're making it as best as we possibly can. I'm sure my wife's listening at this moment, so I'm gonna be nice. Harry, I do appreciate you filling in for Jacob last week, because at least someone here besides Seth knew what they're talking about. So I appreciate you filling in for Jacob last week. I did tune in a little bit here and there, but then obviously emotional damage kicked in, so I had to go to sleep.
Emotional damage.
Yeah.
I have that song bit somewhere, but not too quick today.
No, and obviously, anytime you lose someone, it is tough. Whether it's you directly or in this case, your wife had lost a couple folks, and we lost a family member not too long ago. Last December, I should say. And then a year or so before that, my grandmother passed away. So, it's tough. And so, Jacob and I both let you know, if there's anything that you need, obviously you can reach out to us and, we'll help you out and, do what we can.
So as many of you know, I do make comedy out of the worst situations.
Really?
Yeah. I know. So for one, I do appreciate you guys offering whatever support I do need. But there's one thing, Seth, I need you to do.
Okay.
If this is a fucking joke, I swear to God.
Name out your fucking mouth. Write my name out your fucking mouth.
Oh my gosh.
And at this point, we are canceled.
Where do I go from here, guys? Where do I go from here? Yeah. So, if Earl is done, which I'm going to say he is, he did warn us about this
Yes, he did.
beforehand.
Yeah, I found a new website that has a whole bunch of non-copyrighted sound
Drops.
bites. So you guys are in for a long night.
Yes, we are. First, Harry. We're not going to talk about that at all. I will say that thank you for stepping in. I was so excited for you to be on with you after we met and you were at the game and just couldn't make it happen. There's a lot going on right now. We're about to move. I'm changing jobs. Seth looked at me funny after I said that.
I knew about the job, but you hadn't
so-
mentioned the move yet.
So the job comes with a house
Oh, nice.
out at the lake, and so rent free. Just got to pay utilities. It's a very awesome thing. So we're doing that. We're also going to California on Friday, so I will not be at the game. We're taking a little vacation because I have a week between when this job ends and the next job starts. And since I'm just now starting off, I don't really have time built up to take vacation at all this year. So we figure we might as well do it now while we can. Yes, further out into the middle of nowhere it is. It's about 20 minutes from town here. But as far as mental health goes, to anybody else who has taken on a kid that is not their own,
My wife.
yeah. Are you talking about you? Yeah, that's what I thought. It is tough. We've got 2 boys, 5 and 3, and then to get another 3-year-old in the middle of that has had no discipline whatsoever in her life, basically, and is, as best I can tell, had to fend for herself when it comes to food a lot. She has to have surgery on the 7th of June because she got 4 or 5 bad teeth. They're going to try to fill the cavities, but they might not be able to. So we'll have to see what happens there. And it's just,
So,
it's a lot.
Long story short, I know your mental status. I know it.
I'm in danger.
Oh, guys. But one, I'm happy that we have her and she is safe and on the track to being healthier. 2, the new job is a step up. New house is a step up. It's just busy, and taking a vacation to the beach. I can't complain. I literally cannot complain. And so all in all, I think we're good. Just, everyday life, just kind of like kids. If there's any kids listening, which I'm sorry for the F word that was dropped in a Will Smith reference earlier. But growing up really isn't all that. It's not all that. It's really not. So please enjoy your youth while you still can.
Yeah, absolutely. That don't be in too much of a rush to grow up, and enjoy it. Make your mistakes while you're young, and they have no significant consequences 95% of the time. So, but yeah, I just, with it being National Mental Health Awareness Month, I wanted to bring that question up and ask you guys a little bit about how you're doing. Like I said, we've all been through quite a few things over the past few years, and my life has made a drastic change as you guys have seen, and you guys know more about what's going on behind the scenes. But it's extremely important to bring it up and talk about it, and and just keep reiterating the fact that if it's okay to not be okay. That's the new thing. And it really is. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to reach out and say, hey, I need help. And, there are resources all around. Obviously the three of us are not mental health professionals, but, if you need someone to talk to, like, reach out to one of us and we'll try to talk to you. We'll try to help you find a resource. Earl works for the state. Maybe he can help find something through there. And depending on the issues, there are other options out there. There is, if it's serious enough to where you're contemplating suicide, obviously the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, 1-800-273-8255. You can reach out to that.
We have that number memorized.
I do have that number memorized. And then
Is it because Drake singing in a song?
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That was Hotline Bling, Earl. Sorry.
No, there's another.
I'm kidding, Earl. I'm kidding, Earl.
We're about to get hit with copyright. We're about to get hit with copyright.
But it's important, and we've seen, we've talked about some of our personal things on here, and there are resources available. The state has resources. There's obviously hotlines you can call. If you're employed, check with your healthcare benefits provider. They may have an employee assistance program. Mine does, to where they offer groups of 5 sessions of counseling for free. And that's per issue. So your employer may offer something like that. Use websites like BetterHelp. If you're not comfortable going in person, someone BetterHelp.com, they will hook you up with a provider you can talk to remotely. You don't have to go anywhere. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. But it's just important to talk about. We saw David Estrada make a couple of tweets this week, and he talked about how he had talked about his mental health in the past. And so we've seen it become more prevalent in society and sports in general. Infamously now, Calvin Ridley stepped away from the Atlanta Falcons last year. Other, high profile folks have stepped away for their mental health. Several years ago, Robin Williams passed away. And what many folks didn't know is that he struggled with depression before he passed away. And so, all of that's just a way to say, there are resources available. Reach out, talk to someone. And you're not the only person going through something.
I would even go so far to say that everybody is going through something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, it's almost as if you're saying you don't have a need to talk to somebody, you're lying to yourself. Like, I look at myself and I'm like, good family, all in good health for the most part. COVID didn't really hit me that hard. We lost my grandmother-in-law. But other than that, we've gotten through it or whatever. Have a good job, moving to a better job even. I could easily say, oh no, I'm good. But there are just things that no matter how perfect on the outside it may seem, there are things inside that you're just like, man, just little things that just kind of gnaw at you or eat at you. And it's good to be able to have somebody to talk to them about, whether it's a friend or a pastor or a therapist or, whatever. Just to talk about it and get it off your chest, I think helps tremendously. And even if you guys need to get a hold of us and just vent, because we don't know what's going on, we don't know who you're venting about or anything like that. So we can be as unbiased as possible. Just let us know, or we just encourage you guys to get the help that you guys might need or think you need, or maybe you don't think you need it, but at somewhere deep down inside, you do. So, Seth, thank you for bringing this up. I was not expecting it, mainly because I was oblivious to the fact that it was mental awareness month, mental health awareness month. There we go.
Yeah.
because I thought it was something else entirely month, because it seems like every month has 5 or 6 things that it is. But yeah, and what would have helped my mental health status was a win against San Antonio, but that was for a podcast last week, and I already see Harry talking crap in the chat a little bit earlier, so we will just move on from that.
And because Harry is talking crap,
I'm about to go down to Taco Bell and get me a blast.
I think it is National Burrito Month too. That might be what the other thing is. Because I know Chipotle is doing like free delivery on orders through Cinco de Mayo.
Andrew Gunn had a take on Twitter.
Yes, he did. I saw this.
And you mentioned Chipotle, and it set me off because he said it tasted like garbage or cardboard, or I don't know what he said it tasted like. And I don't know what Chipotle he's going to, but he needs to go to a different one because I'm not like Chipotle is the best, but Chipotle's pretty damn good. And I just cannot believe this take that it tastes like garbage.
Okay, all right. Let me ask you this. So, in terms of burritos, comparing Chipotle to other chains or even any other Mexican style restaurants, I will take any local burrito over Chipotle.
They're not the same thing, though.
No, they're not. But that's what I will take Chipotle over any other fast food chain.
Like I'm going to California, right?
Yeah.
I am going to Chipotle to get a burrito if I'm in California because I don't trust California burritos. Why would I trust California burritos?
Because these are probably authentic.
No. California puts French fries in their burritos. Okay.
So does Del
authentic.
Taco.
and look where they're at now.
I feel like you just made my point for me, but like, no, I'm not doing that. If I find a hole in the wall, sure. Has
So
taqueria or something like that. Yeah, I'll get
a couple
burrito
weeks
from there.
ago. A couple weeks ago, I was in Dallas. Harry, I was like in your neck of the woods.
Not really, dude. Texas is massive.
No. I was back in Texas last weekend because there was a family friend's death.
Oh yeah, you're in Waco, huh?
Yeah, I was down there in Waco, Laguna Park. Actually, there's this little hole in the wall restaurant, and you guys will probably think I'm lying. Called El Pollo Loco.
No, I don't think you're lying at all.
Which El Pollo Loco is also featured on Breaking Bad. So I had to give this place a try. Their queso burrito. It's freaking incredible.
Harry, nobody is saying Chipotle is the best. I would take
Stuffy.
several local burritos over Chipotle.
Stuffy.
But they're different things. A Stuffy's burrito isn't the same thing as a Chipotle burrito.
No,
All burritos are not created equally.
All burrito lives matter.
I mean, so I would take a Stripes burrito. I would take a Blake's burrito, breakfast burrito. Now that's a whole separate conversation. But in terms of just burritos, I would take Stripes. I would take Blake's. I would probably even take Twisters. What do I get at Stripes? I mean, I've tried everything on the menu. I don't have a like one set thing, but I like their corned beef one. But
all right, you're dead to me.
But yeah, it's and like any local place, I would rather go to Sadie's and get a burrito. I would rather go to El Patron or El Pinto and get burritos than go to Chipotle. I mean, they're still all burritos. You know, it's more of a Californized burrito, but
Chipotle?
Yeah. Because I want to say Chipotle is a West Coast chain.
Yeah.
Don't be rude.
It's they were actually made in California.
Okay.
Or not California, Colorado. Sorry. The history of Chipotle is actually fascinating. There was a podcast that I used to listen to, Business Wars. I think is what it was called, and they had a Chipotle section. Favorite burrito, bean and chicharron from a place that no longer exists in Belen. Second favorite, bean and chicharron from Burritos Al Stante, which there's a Burritos Al Stante in Albuquerque that you should check out if you have not been. It is over on Broadway and Gibson-ish. No, not Gibson. Broadway and Avenida? No, Gibson. I think it is Gibson. Very, very good. Very, very good. Expensive. They were made here, or their first restaurant was here in Los Lunas, and they opened up, and then they branched out. The thing that drives me nuts about them, though, is I used to get like one burrito. It would fill me up as a teenager when I ate more, and it was like $4.50. And now one burrito is like $7.25, and I have to order two of them to fill me up. So, but they are still very good.
I would have to say the carne asada burrito from Bucadillos.
That's not a bad option.
No, that's not a bad option at all.
The carne asada burrito from Frontier, pretty tasty for $2.
It depends if you get it in the morning. If you get it like at 2 or 3 in the afternoon, don't do it.
When did we go, Seth?
We went after Mesa del Sol.
Yeah, I got one day and it was pretty tasty. Harry, that's the one place that I wish we would have gotten.
Frontier,
yeah. Frontier, because Dion's is great. It's pizza. It is local, but it's pizza, and pizza is kind of pizza.
Saggio's have been good too.
Like we could have went Saggio's. We could have went Saggio's Frontier back to back. That'd have been nice.
Yeah.
But next time we'll get you out to Frontier.
I mean, go ahead, Earl.
These are conversations we're supposed to have on the off season.
Well,
Yeah.
it kind of is the off season because we have a preview, 2 previews, I guess, but we don't have any games to recap. So this is our recap time.
Gotcha.
In terms of burrito, I think you've got 2 different categories of burrito. You've got your breakfast burrito and you've got your lunch or dinner burrito. And so there's a place that I used to go down in Bosque Farms, Benny's.
Ooh.
Benny's is fantastic. Oh man,
Deep fried bean and cheese with red chili and a side of fries. I grew up in Benny's. There's a guy that works there. He's a cook. He's got a big ponytail. His name is Robert. I have known him since I was like 2 feet tall. And yes, I will fully agree with those burritos being incredible. They're deep fried, so they're kind of different, but oh man, they're good.
Now if you're gonna go to Benny's, not Benny's 2.
Yeah, no, Benny's 2 is trash.
Yeah, you gotta go to
Benny's
Benny's, and you gotta go to Benny's and Bosque Farms. That's the spot, man. Like that was the first place I ever had green chili.
Oh, dude.
I fell in love with green chili.
My grandma
down there.
My grandma to this day will not go back to Benny's because she said that they tried to kill her because she got green chili on a burrito or a burger one time, and it was so hot that she says, no, they tried to kill me. I will not go back there. And she will go back there. She just won't get chili.
So yeah, I think you got to answer that question in one of 2 ways. Breakfast burrito versus lunch and dinner. Benny's is hands down for me the best burrito. Now there's a ton of food trucks and local restaurants in and around Albuquerque. El Pinto's got some fantastic burritos. El Patron's are really good. There's some fantastic food trucks around town. Breakfast burritos.
Hot take.
Yeah.
Give me a lunch dinner burrito over a breakfast burrito.
Oh yeah,
all
absolutely.
day, every day.
Absolutely. But in terms of local breakfast options, I'm taking a breakfast burrito.
So locally, because obviously I don't go to Albuquerque that often anymore. I'm pretty much set in my little cubicle in the East Mountains, in the middle of freaking nowheres, kind of like Jacob.
Don't you go to Albuquerque all the time for work?
No, not anymore.
Oh.
Only because my area manager is stepping down or moving up. So I am now in charge of like the entire region.
So wouldn't that mean you have to go to Albuquerque more?
So I'm trying to stay away from there as much as I possibly can so I don't flip out and tell people off.
Fair.
So Chili Hills.
Chili Hills is good.
Their breakfast burrito, if you get the hash browns extra crispy, on point.
You know what I got? What did I get there that one time we met? Was it the chicken wrap?
You got chicken wrap.
That chicken wrap was delicious, dude.
Heck yeah, it was. There's also
Alright, so-
another hole in the wall place across the street from my office called Lulu's Kitchen.
Lulu's.
If you
All right,
get
so
the
this off season, we're going on the road and we're touring New Mexican restaurants.
deal. The one place that we will not stop by is Harry's favorite taco place or burrito place.
I was like,
No,
where's he
but
going with
Lulu's-
this? Where's he going with this?
Lulu's Kitchen has depends if you catch them like at 5 or 6 in the morning when when the tortillas and everything's super fresh. He has the best handheld bacon and green chili burrito probably in the world. I would fight anyone on it.
It's a
'Cause you-
bold
you
take
can get-
there, buddy.
You can get the bacon extra crispy, the potatoes extra crispy. They're not hash browns, they're papas. You can get those
Another hot
extra
take.
crispy.
I don't like my bacon extra crispy.
Well, then you're crazy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like I don't like it like this.
At this moment that he knew.
So you don't like it when your bacon flops like Solomon Asante.
Exactly. I just don't like it to break. Like, ooh, I could have gotten some dark places there, but I won't.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
We don't
Yeah,
know
I
what
got.
tacos are. Oh,
We know what
Casa
tacos are.
Casa
Taco.
Taco. Casa Taco is the shit. Love
Last
Casa
call.
Taco. Last call. Yes, their burritos are legit too.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they are.
We
Harry,
could go on and on.
Yeah, Harry. Next time you come up here, we're definitely gonna take you to some even more local places and let you see what we got out here. But
Wait, you can,
Um,
Harry. You can still bring AJ, and
Yeah.
we'll stop at Dion's and we'll get him a pizza. Then we'll throw him in the car with the pizza, and then we'll just drive around town, sampling everything. Now, what they need to do is a multi-million-dollar idea. Okay, write it down. You know how breweries have the flights of beer?
yes,
They need flights of burritos.
there you go. Do like little mini burritos.
Yeah.
like a little
Yeah.
3 or 4 ounce burrito.
Are we opening up our new restaurant now?
Yes,
Yes.
we are.
Good.
That's what we're doing.
I'm pretty sure
The
that's
pick is
copyrighted.
in.
I'm pretty sure that's copyrighted as fuck, bro.
Probably.
I do not
Yeah.
trust this website you are on.
I'm gonna. I gotta find a restaurant down in Las Lunas to take Logan to on Friday night because I tried
Las
to find a
Lunas?
place. Yeah, in Las Lunas because he wants to go see Sonic the Hedgehog
fun.
2, and there's nowhere in Albuquerque showing it this weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's gonna be down at Starlight, so I'm gonna take him down there and figure out some place to go. I might take him over to maybe Teofilos or something. But
Teofilos is good.
yeah. Anyway, now that our mental health seems to be in a better state, we do have 2 matches.
Well,
to
yeah, we
talk
were talking about food.
exactly. No, I'm hungry.
Fixes
man.
anybody's mental health.
I'm
state.
down I'm down 30 plus pounds and I'm freaking hungry. Well, let's talk about food. No, I'm serious. And that's part of it too. I'm seriously down over 30 pounds. Just trying to eat better, working out a little bit here and there. And so all of that and this and talking to you guys puts me in a better place. It really does. And so, looking ahead, we're going to put the past behind us. We're going to get over these 2 losses in a row that New Mexico United has had. And we're going to look forward to, first off,
Are we though?
Yes,
Are
we are.
we?
Sacramento FC tomorrow night, and then on the weekend, the Fighting Landons. So tomorrow night on the road at Sacramento, we've obviously seen some goals against Sacramento in the past. The club has been pushing the Brucey Banger out there on social media. Sacramento is actually winless in their last 3, but they are still above the Mendoza lines as of tonight. So what do you guys looking at as far as Sacramento, and what do you think New Mexico has to do on the road tomorrow?
Score.
Well, yes.
I mean, you asked.
I mean, I'm kind of right there with Earl. these games lately have just been driving me nuts. Not being able to find the back of the net, and it feels in some ways like last year, and in some ways not like last year. But in the ways that it feels like last year, it seems like we started, and every match I was like, "Oh, it's going to be 4-0. It's going to be 4-0," and I truly believed that a breakout was coming. That was going to be like 3 or 4 or 5 goals in a game, and I'm in that same boat right now. Like I feel like at any minute we could bust out and get 3, 4, 5, 6 goals in a match, like San Antonio did on Saturday. Yet we just can't seem to do it. We can't even seem to get one lately, or more than one, anyways. And so, until we start finishing chances and actually getting some goals up, that will be my answer as to what we need to do is finish. I think the defense has been solid, not great, but solid. If we could get Kalen back, which it was against Monterey Bay, so does it really count? Harry says, and that's a very good question. But I saw the score, so it counts apparently, even if it is against a USL League One team.
Well, so what does that mean for San Antonio's win over Monterey Bay?
San Antonio's, or
Yeah,
that's the one we were talking about. That's the one they scored 5 in. I mean, it was a win against a. Was it 6?
yeah, it was 6.
No, sorry, Harry. I was shorting you guys when it was 6. Who scored 5 against him? Was it El Paso?
Yeah.
Anyways, I think the defense and the possession, and we've kind of seen 2 different styles. We saw a really heavy possession against, was it San Antonio?
Mm-hmm.
That just never led to anything. We kind of saw the opposite, where we didn't really have a lot of possession and still had a lot of chances. I think our XG, aside from the San Antonio match, has been really good. We just need to take that XG and actually put it into goals instead of expected goals. And I think we'll be okay. I really want Ryden back. That's where I was going with this. Oh, Earl's dying. Went down the wrong pipe. I really want Ryden back, and David or somebody from the club, if you're out there, can we get an update on what the hell is actually going on with Ryden? Because we've seen him in a walking boot. Last Saturday against San Antonio, he was not in a walking boot, which is a good sign. So is he coming back soon? Is he not? Like, I just need to know these things. And similar to Tambakis, even though I think Cody has done a pretty good job filling in for him, we need our keeper who is actually training with us every week and is the long-term plan there for the rest of the year back. And I'm not worried about the defense, and I definitely won't be when they come back. It just comes down to finishing, same as last year.
Yeah, I definitely agree on needing Kalen back. As you said, we don't know what's going on. We haven't heard an exact injury status. You mentioned the walking boot. I hypothesized last week with Harry that it was a stress fracture of some kind, which seems likely given the nature of how those of how you help recuperate and treat those. The walking boot would play into that. A friend of mine has a stress fracture and is in a walking boot. So, it's entirely possible. Could be an ankle, could be, we don't know, but, and it's nothing against the guys who've been playing back there. They've been playing pretty well. We haven't really given up too many clear chances at the back. And like you said, Cody's played well. But Cody won't be with us the entire season as far as we know. As far as we know, Alex will be back here within the next couple of weeks, and Cody's going to go back to NYC. But yeah, I think really the issue is more in the attacking third and the midfield. I think we're fine defensively. We're not stellar at this point. We're not a standout at any particular position, but it's the play in the midfield and the final third that has to be better. It absolutely has to be. And I think against Sacramento, they are a club that does give up a few goals. They've given up a little over 1 a game so far this year. And so I think they're a club that we can create some opportunities against, but we need that play in the middle. And I don't know if you guys listened to the show last week. Harry and I talked about the possibility of New Mexico United going out and bringing someone in before, even the midway point of the season. We're now a quarter of the way through. Well, United's still a little bit behind everybody else, but do you think that's a step that needs to be taken, or do you think that the guys that we have, Earl, are going to be good enough to go forward and create opportunities in these upcoming matches?
So I think the people we have right now is good enough. I mean, we played, God, I'm terrible at math, but probably like 3 games in 8 days or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. So obviously one of those games was eventually meaningless because it was an Open Cup game. Which Jacob begs to differ, but I don't care about his opinion.
Real quick, Josh, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Just kidding, Jacob. God knows I love you, kind of. But yeah, I think we're good. I mean, we have Mondo coming back sometime in the future, in a month or 2, hopefully. So that adds to our attack, which means you can now run with 2 midfielders, attacking midfielders, to help out with defense as well as the attack, which essentially will put you 4 attackers on there. So yeah, I think we're fine. The only big question mark, like we've all said, and I'm gonna sound like a broken record, is Kalen Ryden. I mean, as long as he's out, our defense is going to suffer because obviously, as good as Sam is, he's not Kalen Ryden.
Well, unfortunately, Sam's not playing in the back, but your point's taken, because we've had Will, Rosh, Austin, Josh Suggs. We've had Ratty back there. Ratty, of course, tends to play a little bit higher up, though.
There was a game that Sam played the back.
There was.
Yeah, there was one, but for the most part, it's been, I think that was when both Kalen and Josh were out. But after Josh came back, we saw, and I think there was a little bit of rotation there as well. I'm trying to remember. I'll have to go back and look and see exactly which match that was. But it's typically been Austin, Will, and Alexi back there, and you see Rosh and the others swapping now. But I get your point. Sam is not Kalen. But, Sam is definitely more of a midfielder.
Sorry, I'm not ignoring you. I have to plug in. I'm almost gonna die.
No worries.
Who would we go to, or who would we look to get? Like, not necessarily a name, but like what kind of player?
You need a.
You know what we need? We need Chris Wehan to be Chris Wehan.
Stop talking about Chris Wehan. Maybe we stop talking about him.
You're going to get us canceled.
Maybe we stop talking about him. Then, he'll pop up. But I don't know. We need a creator. We need a driver. We need that engine player in the midfield. Quit talking about him. It's the Beetlejuice factor. You keep saying it, he's going to pop up, and it's going to be a bad thing. But if you just leave it alone, it's going to be okay.
Wehan.
and Harry and I talked about Chris last week too. And it's just like
before you continue, Seth.
Yeah,
Harry has to leave. He has to get some sleep because he has to pretend he's Earl and go to bed early. So Harry, good night. We will talk to you probably next week, I'm sure.
All right, Harry, have a good one.
Love you.
I like this comment here from Josh. We played 2 of the best teams to their limits. The San Antonio penalty was a tough call. We got a good squad, but got to make those shots when the opportunity comes. Absolutely right. And right here, we need a leader. I've been saying this since season 1. We need a Peyton Manning out there. Great points there by Josh over in the chat. I don't necessarily think it's a lack of a leader. I think it's a lack of cohesion and lack of that engine for whatever reason in Zach Prince's system. Number 41 just isn't quite clicking yet. And there's just something missing. That ball needs to go forward. And I liked what we ran the past couple matches out. And I felt like we did well. Look at like the 4-4-2 diamond. I think that played well. But we just don't have that connection there. And so
what will get him will get he who shall not be named clicking?
What's that?
The Daniel Bruce treatment. Put him on the bench. Look at Brucey last season. He rode the bench and came on as a sub. This season, he's probably most improved from last season.
Asian Pacific Heritage Month. Asian American Pacific Heritage Month is the month that I've been seeing on TNT trying to watch the basketball games this week.
Oh,
Sorry.
Okay.
We have played two of the better teams very tough. We have a good squad. I think had the Oakland and Orange County matches not been last second draws going against us, then maybe I can stomach the Phoenix and San Antonio matches a little better. But when you group all four of those together, it just leaves a really bad taste in your mouth. And I think that when we look back at your initial question of should we go and add somebody, I'm always for adding more depth. I think we've seen already this year how injuries can affect you in a certain position group, whether that's defenders or the midfield. I wouldn't mind seeing a couple more midfielders come in because I feel like we have Hamilton and Portillo, and then maybe Rivas and kind of Azira. And if we were to lose any one of those four, especially if it's Portillo or Hamilton, we're in trouble in the midfield as far as depth is concerned. So I could see that. But I think if you look at us from top to bottom, like Nico's been the one finishing. Nico has looked very good. Preston has looked dangerous. He hasn't quite finished yet at the pace that I would like, but he's been good. Josh mentions Nava there. Play Nava more. He's like a Manu Ginobili out there. Manu Ginobili is a basketball player, for those of you that don't know. Nava has looked electric out there. Nava's just so freaking small, guys. Like, I understand that soccer is not about everything. You look at Solomon Asante, and he's 5'0". And even though he flops like a fish, he was still a very, 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 very productive soccer player. And so, not saying that Nava can't be that way. Nava's just young and small, which is a combination that for a team that wants to win a championship, I don't think you can necessarily rely on him. He can definitely come in and play more than he has. But I think if you're looking at Nava to be your week in, week out starter, you're not going to get to the goals that I think we've set for this team, and I think the club is set for themselves. But everywhere up and down the lineup, the new additions, the returning players, I think they've all looked good to really good at times, and I think that their potential is, a championship caliber squad. And so I'm not going to say we need to find somebody else, but I wouldn't mind seeing a couple depth pieces added. Tenari, I'm looking at you. Dev, I'm looking at you.
Hey. Dev's too busy making commercials right now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's on a commercial on KOH. I saw him this morning.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna text you guys, but you guys wouldn't reply back anyway. So
I'm sorry, I forgot to charge my phone.
You guys
Your phone
realize that you guys will have 20 text threads, and then I will jump in after you guys have texted each other 20 times. I'll jump in right away, not like 2 hours later, and then it just goes silent on me. You guys, there's just nothing.
Well, yeah, 'cause we're done talking.
And I'm like, really, guys? You had this 20-minute conversation while I was at work, and now that I actually can reply, you just goes. I swear, you guys are in a separate thread. As soon as that happens, you're just like, look at him, look at him, just out there flailing in the wind. What a loser!
No, me and my wife actually had the conversation on the way home today because she asked if I sent you that video. I said, yeah, but they didn't reply back. And she's like, oh, really? I said, yeah. So usually how it goes is we'll text each other for a little bit and then we'll stop for like a month. And then
Also,
we'll text each other and then we'll stop for like a month.
I cannot get the video to play larger than this on my phone.
Mine wouldn't either. Yeah, it was like all pixelated and tiny, and
Oh,
yeah. It looked like he was like trying on a suit and dancing, or
hang on. I'll figure this out for you guys.
do a share as link when you do it instead of like just sending the video. To do like share as link, and that seems to like work like cross-platform, like between Android and iOS. So,
Or just send it to me, because it'll work for me if you just send it to me, because
yeah,
I actually have Apple.
Yeah.
Unlike,
and I will not go back to Apple. So, but looking back at Sacramento, New Mexico and Sacramento played 3 times in their history. All 3 times were way back in the 2019 season. Sacramento does hold a 2-1 record all time against New Mexico United. That season, New Mexico lost at home to Sacramento by a final of 3-0, beat Sacramento on the road 2-1, and then lost to Sacramento in the playoffs in the play-in round by a final of 2-1 as well. Sacramento is a club that I think we could see competing for the playoffs this season. I don't think they're as strong as some other people think they are, but I think they will be in competition for one of those playoff spots. They've scored 10 times. They've given up 9. They're not quite. I haven't seen them really be convincing in any of their matches that I've watched so far. Is there anyone in particular that you think needs to be a standout for either club, Jacob?
No. I mean, Nico and he who shall I'm not gonna be this he who shall not be named thing with him. They need to be better. That Weehan needs to be better, and Nico needs to do what Nico's been doing, and that's finishing. And if those 2 things happen, I think we're solid. And then as for them, I believe Douglas Martinez is still hurt. And so we will catch a break if that's the case. He's a very, very, very talented forward. Other than that, no name on their team sheet like really sticks out to me.
Earl, is there anyone that you got your eye on for tomorrow night?
Nope, I got my eye on my internet bogging out because I tried to download that video, which didn't work anyways. So I'll just email it to you guys.
All right. Sounds good.
Sacramento. No one stands out to me.
All right. I mean, for me, it's going to be more about us than about them. I think that we do have to. I mean, we keep talking about be better in the final third, be better in the midfield. I think defensively we're going to be okay. They're not like I said, Sacramento's not a club that gets necessarily a lot of opportunities. They have a very low conversion rate. I think it's like 12% conversion rate on their shots. So, yeah, they've had 82 total shots so far. Only 36 have even been on target with 10 goals. So they're scoring just over a goal a match. So, they're not necessarily a high-powered club. I mean, their 2 top scorers both only have 2 goals. So It's going to be more about us. Can we finish the opportunities that we have? Can we, play Nico in behind? Can we get Preston? Can we get Preston and Nico just bombing down the pitch? That's what we need. Maybe play a little bit over the top, gonna open the game up a little bit, let them showcase their speed and make plays on their own. I think that's where it's going to be for us. I think we've got the speed to really make a difference up top. And so, I think that this could be one where we go on the road and pick up points. So I'll start us off with our predictions on this one. I'm going to say 2-1 United on the road.
2-0.
They do have a few familiar names for those of you that are maybe a little more curious about who's actually on their roster. They have an El Paso player, Nick Ross. Nick Ross was probably like the least hated El Paso player in my book on my list. So he's there. It is what it is. Rodrigo Lopez played for RGV last year. We saw him quite a bit. I don't think he really hurt us last year. And then going way back to 2019 against Reno, rest in peace, the player who scored the goal that led to our first loss, Duke Lacroix, plays for them. And I actually kind of like Duke and hope that that doesn't come back to bite me in the ass this weekend. But I will go ahead and say they are undefeated at home, 3-0-1 at home. So they do tend to play tough at home. But I will say 1-0 United.
1-0 United. All right. There you have it. Those are our predictions for this week. For tomorrow night, we do all have United winning on the road. I think it's a great opportunity for United to pick up some points. And now that United has 2 matches in hand against pretty much every other team in the Western Conference, it's going to give them opportunity to pick up some points and get back into those playoff positions early on. Looking ahead to the weekend, the Fighting Landons come into town on Saturday evening for the Cinco de Mayo match, Mother's Day match, whatever you decide to call it. I know that there is a special tifo that's been painted for this weekend. I have not seen it. I have heard it looks fantastic, though, so can't wait to see that on Saturday night. San Diego Loyal, obviously one of the best stories in the Western Conference this season. They have 2 losses on the year, one coming the other day to Lou City, which is probably not unexpected because of the fact that Lou City is Lou City. And then their other loss was to FC Tulsa back in their 3rd match of the season. So San Diego Loyal currently sitting on 19 points in 3rd position in the table. San Antonio and Colorado Springs are both ahead of them, do both have a match in hand. Honestly, I think at this point, this is going to be one of the tougher matches of the season. We all know that San Diego Loyal brought in the insurrectionist Andrew Carlton in the offseason, and he's performed pretty well for them, and that entire squad has. And they're someone that I had circled on the calendar that I couldn't wait to see them come into town. We've talked about it, since last season because we haven't played them yet. And so I think this is we did have one match against them last year, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I think this is going to be a huge test for United at home. Obviously, we like to think of the Lab as our fortress that United isn't going to lose there, but we've seen a loss and 2 draws at home so far this season. So, what are your thoughts on Saturday night out at the Lab?
Well, I think so. Last year was a 1-1 draw with Ilya Illich scoring in stoppage time or right before
Fantastic
stoppage
goal,
time.
by the way.
Yeah, goal of the week, if I'm not mistaken.
It was goal of the week, and that was the match that Armando tore his ACL.
Yeah, so it is a club that, yes, they're really talented and they are very, very good. But I think they're gettable. Like I personally in the West, especially, I don't look at anybody as Like, I'm not scared of anybody in the West. I think there's a ton of very good teams in the West, but I think we're one of them. And we can, if we play our best or play anywhere near our best, hang with anybody in the West. And probably anybody in the East, even. Lou City, I don't know. But, I mean, it's a team that maybe I've watched more of for some reason. I think I've watched more of their games because when they play Phoenix, it's really fun. And when they play Sacramento, it's been fun. Yeah, they're cross when they play Lou City. Obviously, when they play those top teams in the West or in the East, their matches are pretty entertaining. So, like, I look at the names, Colin Martin, who came out as gay last year or the year before, the first openly gay player in the USL, and also is very talented on top of that. Guido, Jack Blake, Jack Metcalf, Charlie Adams. They just have a lot. Thomas Among. And then they bring in somebody like Kyle Vassell, who's performed really well for them in the forward position. They are very talented. But I think that depending, I hate to pick this game because I kind of want to see what happens tomorrow night. But if I'm going with we win 1-0 tomorrow night, then I think we can get some confidence off of that, especially if we can get some healthy faces back in there like Ryden, which I know he doesn't contribute to the goal scoring directly, typically. I think his presence in the back line can free up everybody else to play a little looser and a little more attacking. And so I think if we can see him back and we get a win midweek and have some confidence going to the lab for Cinco de Mayo, which, by the way, Seth, if you at all can, grab me a flag because they look incredible. And a poster. FYI.
Okay.
But anyways, I know I'm needy. I'm sorry. I'll be thinking about you in California while you're doing that for me.
Okay.
But I think we can build off that, and I feel fairly good at this point in time about this game. Now, if we get our butts kicked tomorrow, or if we give up a late goal to lose or tie, throw all that out the window. I'll be very pessimistic for this game. But as it sits right now, I'm pretty optimistic about it.
Earl, like Jacob said, there is obviously the match in between. What are your thoughts on Saturday against San Diego?
So I called 2-0 before. If we pick up that 2-0 or even 2-1, like you called, if we pick up that win, I think we go into Saturday with a lot of confidence. It'd be nice to see a bunch of healthy people back. It'd be nice to see Weehan actually score maybe a goal or two. It'd be nice to just see United finish any goal that they try to score. So if it goes our way, 2-0 or 2-1, either one, I say 3-0 on Saturday.
3-0 on Saturday. All right. I like the optimism there. I really do. I like the optimism.
But that's only riding on if we have obviously Wednesday going our way. And hopefully a healthy Caitlin Ryden standing in the midfield, in the back.
Yeah, Caitlin's going to be big to have back on Saturday night. Hopefully we'll get some match notes, David Carl, if you're listening. So we have an idea of who may or may not be back for this series of matches this week.
Yeah, I really hope you guys do get match notes this week.
Just a small shot fired there by Earl.
David, if you're listening, private message me on Facebook, so we can try to get me on this distribution list. Yeah, I know I don't know what I'm talking about 9 days out of the week, but
But yeah, looking at Saturday, it's I think a lot of it is going to be that mental test. You know, playing 2 games in 3 days. Obviously, United's already done it this season. There's something they're very familiar with. A lot of the guys have done it in the past, but especially against a team like San Diego Loyal, they take their opportunities. They don't miss a lot of them, and they've played against some of the best in the West and the East so far this season. Obviously, you know, they have wins over Phoenix. They have wins over Sacramento, Tampa Bay, Charleston Battery, who were a playoff club last season. They beat LA Galaxy, who is currently in the playoff spot so far this year. And then they also beat lowly El Paso. So not too concerned about that.
I mean, who hasn't, right?
Monterey Bay. But yeah, I mean, San Diego is an exciting club to watch. They are, you know, they're responding well to Landon. They really are. That club has grown together. They've meshed well, and I think that they're going to be one of the top clubs in the Western Conference throughout the season this year. So Saturday is going to be a real test. I would like to see us come away with 3 points. I think it ends up being 2-2 on Saturday night.
I don't think I gave a prediction today.
No.
2-1.
2-1. Us or them?
Either or. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, we got 2-1, 3-0, and 2-2. Obviously, we're all hoping for wins in both of these matches, but it's going to be a test this week for New Mexico United. Travel in between and getting back and forth and playing 2 very good Western Conference sides. I think this is going to give us a lot to build off of in the next few weeks and months. And, you know, maybe we get some word from the club on the status of a couple of guys who've been out with injuries. So, yeah, there you have it, folks. That's our show for this evening. You guys got anything else before Jacob gets us out of here? No? All right, then.
Sweet. Josh, Harry, thank you guys for popping in the chat. We always enjoy having interaction there. We will be back. Well, I might take my podcast stuff to California. I'm not 100% sure yet, but somebody will be here. Somebody will be here to talk about those 2 games, plus previewing the. Hold on, I have it right here. Don't tell me. Charleston match that will be on the 14th, and we'd love to have you guys back. We will hopefully be talking about 6 points, but I'll take 4. I might even take 3 at this point. I don't really know. We just need a positive result there. So until then, guys, stay safe out there. Again, if you need somebody to talk to or anything like that, reach out to us. Use something like BetterHelp. I was literally about to say BetterHelp when Seth mentioned it earlier. It's okay to not be okay. And so if you need anything, let us know. And until next Tuesday at 9:00, Somos Linos.